Good morning, good evening. We're going to start in a minute, the call. Okay. Okay, so good morning, good evening. I'm very happy to be here today introducing our guest speaker, Alison Johnson.
Hello, gang.
Hi, Alison. Very nice to meet you. I really appreciate your time and being here. We have many of the kids from around the world on the call. These are from about 11 countries, and they're here today very excited. There has been actually discussions before you joined about the work that you have done. And we really appreciate it. They all are familiar with the amazing work that you have done from Apple to Enphase now. They have gone through your bio. And the goal today is to have a conversation. The CEO of these companies are going to present the work they're doing. They are actually have a focus for the summer around the XPRIZE carbon removal as a target for end of the year. They want to have a combined submission in the student section. XPRIZE accepted it was for college students, but after their CEO came and talked to the kids, she accepted to be able for the kids that are in K-12 to submit their solutions for that student prize. And that has been actually made the work that your company has provided Enphase support for making solar library a very timely and important enabler for them, because any solution they put in place one way or another has to be carbon negative, and the solar become critical for the solution. So first of all, I want to thank you for enabling your company. And we will go, what we're going to do is we'll go through the presentations through few of these companies as much as the time permits. And after ending of each, we highly appreciate if you can have a conversation with their CEO, provide your input, insights in any aspect you see fit, from the solution to implementation to the next steps, how startups works. And that kind of conversation would be great. At the end, we'll stop and you can give some overview input to them, and then we have some general QA.
Great, terrific. Excited to hear everybody's work.
Fantastic. Again, thanks for being here. So let's start. Stephanie, who is the first company?
First, we have the golden ratio. Please go ahead.
Hello, everyone. My name is Aliazi. I am from Oman. I'm a grade 10 student, and I am the CEO of Golden Ratio. We have team members from Azerbaijan, Palestine, Oman, and India, and our company is mostly interested in designing. For the past week, we've been working on this idea, PolyUp Real version, the main idea of it. I know it might sound weird, but we are targeting here 3 groups. Group number 1, kids who don't have access to the internet. Group number 2, kids who don't have computers or cell phones or tablets. Group number 3, kids with health problems who can't stay in front of screens for a long time. So we add to the game, for example, here, blocks. The cylinder block will be for numbers, and the cube will be for a plus and minus, and etc. And we are going to add levels with instruction, like you have to move on from level 1, level 2, and you can also participate to play with a partner. And we thought we have to make this more interesting. So we will add to the game, for example, like parts. So you can build a lake, for example, and you can match the blocks and the parts together like Legos. It's similar to Legos. And we think this product will help kids more to participate with each other and communicate and play more together in person. And we want your opinion, so share your ideas with us. And I will upload this form on Discord. We want your opinions, your ideas to make this game more interesting. One sec, sorry. Here's the form, and we will be happy to hear your honest opinion. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Aliazi. This is great. I appreciate the opportunity to comment. Question for you is, how do you plan to distribute the game, given the challenges that you outlined in terms of access and access to technology, et cetera?
We are working on that. We have to make it similar to the real one, the one in computer, but it's going to be a little bit different because it's a real one, a real version, real life. So we are going to work on that for the next weeks, next month also, and that's what we are going to focus on. This is the main idea, and we want their opinions, their ideas, so we can make this better.
Have you received any, always in the context of the product development process, it's good to get feedback during the design process, right?
Yes,
so that you
exactly.
Talk a little bit about the user research and the usability testing that you've done so far.
Sorry, can you ask again?
Sure. Have you put this into the hands of any of the kids that you'd like to participate in this, to get their feedback during the development process?
Yes. Well, not exactly kids, but we've discussed this with our team members, and they thought it's going to be great, but we have to make it more interesting so it won't be boring or something.
Well, it looks like you're building gamification kinds of attributes into this with your different levels, right? So,
yes.
So that's really exciting. What's the benefit? What's the outcome that you'd like to achieve?
To learn math, but in a fun way. Kids like to be more to play with more stuff, cool stuff, not only numbers.
Totally. Is this something, how are you going to encourage participation across the world? I love that you have a global team participating in the development of this. How are you thinking about?
If people like this product, we want to do it because we're so excited about it, and our team is so excited to work more on it. I wish to see this in market. I'll buy it.
That's terrific. That's actually a very good place to start. I'll tell you one of the secrets at Apple. We made products that we loved, right? And as a result, we were the ultimate user, the ultimate customer experience and influence on the product. We made things that we loved and we wanted to use. So hats off to you guys for understanding that at the very beginning.
Thank you. Thank you.
Fantastic. Aliazi, to just tell you how interesting is the idea you have, something similar came about from a math teacher in US, and I'm showing you example of that. You see, these are the physical number and physical, physical cards. And,
yes.
Something similar, there was some testing with kids at very young age, at like 4 years old, until about 10. And the question that Alison asked about distribution, how get it to customer, when it become physical, become very, very important. And in that case, the discussion was, just like you said, for the areas that internet is not available, and the local partners in various countries are the ones that actually made this. So even we are not making it because these are, paper, and they were start to distribute it. So these kind of ideas is fantastic, that you empathize with your user, especially like when they don't have internet, but you should also think about ideas and aspect that Alison mentioned. But that was great.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you so much, Aliasi.
Great. Stephanie, who's next?
Next, we have the samurais.
Yes. Hi, I am Jagan. I'm from 7th grade India and I'm the CEO of Samurais. So our team's name is Samurais. We have team members from India, Kenya, Oman and Palestine. And we chose the name Samurais because it's a catchy name and we want to tell that we have the courage to try new ideas and innovate just like ninjas. You can know more about us on our website as well. And then one of our first product is solar library tutorial. So right now, when most people want to build something in PolyUp, they need to learn more about it and they want to experiment with this. So our team has created this solar library tutorial in YouTube, which will help them make better machines. So let me give you a quick overview of the library. So here, this entire house was built using the solar library in PolyUp. And so here you can see this is a graph which shows the electrical consumption of the house. So this lower part of the graph shows the percentage of the battery. Right now it's being used by the appliances. So anything above this middle line is where the energy is coming from and anything below is where it's going to. So right now it's day. You can see it's day here in the clock. So energy is coming from the solar panels and it's going to the red area, which is the appliances. Right now it's also charging the batteries as well. And you can see inside the house that some of the appliances are working. For example, this air conditioner and the refrigerator inside the kitchen, it's charging right now. And when it turns nighttime, the bulbs also will start to glow when it turns nighttime. So right now, you can see the batteries are completely charged, but most of the energy is coming from the solar panels. And now it's turned night, so you can see all the lights have also lit up.
Yeah.
And then our second product is related to carbon removal. So right now, the world's biggest problem is carbon emissions from fossil fuels. So you can see this graph here, which shows the spike in carbon emissions just because of fossil fuels. So our solution is a grass that can power your house and reduce CO2. And that grass is bamboo. But why bamboo? Bamboo is a grass, so it won't die when the stalks are trimmed. Its seeds are cheaper, it adapts to the climate, and it has higher yield. I'll tell you why this is important in a few minutes. And most importantly, it releases 30% more oxygen than trees. So let me show you the simulation in PolyUp. This video shows the simulation in PolyUp here. So you can see a solar drone plants bamboo using a seed dispenser and a water dispenser. And then this drone has a depth sensor. So after it reaches a certain height, it will just stay in that height, as you can see right now. And then when it runs out of seeds, you can land the drone like this. Now this drone plants bamboo for a biomass plant to generate electricity. I told you before that bamboo is a grass. So if you cut the stalks also, it won't die. So that principle is being used here. So you can see the stalks are trimmed and they are taken to the storage area from which they are used as fuel inside the factory. So you can see it's used as fuel to heat steam on top, heat water on top of it to convert it into steam. And then this steam is used to generate electricity using a turbine. To reduce water wastage, it's again condensed and it's sent back to the initial container. so that there's no water wastage. And then finally, it reaches all the houses through the grid system. Next, let me show you the energy consumption of this. So you can see most of the energy is being consumed by the propellers and then the seed dispenser and water dispenser. And now I'll come to our business. Before I come to the business model, let me tell you about the carbon impact of our solution. So you can see here, this machine simulates the carbon impact of the solution. Right now, I have 1,000 bamboo, which is about the number of bamboo you can plant in 1 acre. So in 5 years, we have reduced 150 tons of bamboo, which is about 20 elephants. So that's quite a lot of carbon dioxide which is reduced. So this solution is carbon negative. Now let me tell you about our business model. So you can see the first part of our business model is to find the perfect type of bamboo, then check if there's a coal plant in that area. And then if there is a coal plant, you convert the coal plant to a bamboo biomass plant, or else you set up a new plant. Optionally, they can use the bamboo for other stuff. So to find the perfect type of bamboo, you can see this map here. For example, if you are living in New York, then you will have to use a Cheskuiha bamboo in that region. And then after that, you check if there's a coal plant. So if there is a coal plant, you convert it into a biomass plant. Both work the same way, that is by converting water to steam and to electricity. And the main difference is fuel. So the steps you'll need to do is change the combustion system a bit and plant bamboo in the coal collection area, which makes it fertile. And then if there is no coal plant, you set up a new biomass plant. It can use degraded land. And then the final part is to use some bamboo for other stuff like furniture, paper, etc. And so in return, they get some shares of the profit. So you can see here, first they are taken to a warehouse, then they are sold to other furniture manufacturing companies, and then it's finally sold in another store. This is an example of using furniture. How are we different? I'm going to explain what makes our solution different from others. Bamboo has higher yield, so it covers less area but more electricity. No carbon monoxide is generated because we'll be using a solar igniter instead of an oil igniter. And then no extra land is needed for this. And finally, it reduces deforestation for furniture, paper, etc. because you're just trimming the bamboo for all these purposes. Speaking of furniture, we also have another product, which is a furniture library, which will help people make better machines, houses, and many more. This is our progress so far. We are also working on gamifying the solution and merging all machines and figuring out the power efficiency of bamboo and comparing it to coal. So we will be working on that next week. And that's it. Thanks for listening.
And that's it. Are you ready to be a CEO of a big company? I think so. That was a terrific presentation.
Thanks.
I love how you guys have thought about this whole system end to end, cradle to grave. And you're looking for other ways to monetize aspects of the production process, et cetera, et cetera. It truly impressive, you guys. Your challenge is going to be, your dreams are so big. Your opportunity is so massive. How are you going to prioritize, right? Where are you going to start? And how are you going to sequence so that you can afford to do this? But it's truly impressive. The business model, the production process, the benefits to society and to the environment and to us as individuals was loud and clear. So congratulations! It was a terrific presentation, and yeah, I would fund this if I was that startup show. I would fund this. So terrific job,
Thanks.
Miran. I bet you could use this engineering team on your side.
You read my mind.
Yeah, this is fantastic. So there is, Alison, there is something happening that is actually right up your alley, and it's good to hear from your thoughts on it. This happened in the Innovation Hub by a math teacher in US just 3-4 weeks ago. And as you see, the kids can build anything they can imagine in the simulation environment, and they move it with math. So any kid can do that at different ages. And what the math teacher did, and I think he might be actually here, is called himself Tall Math Teacher. He turned one of the machines that he's building to a game that also has a timer, and they find out how fast you can achieve the goal. And since then, many machines like that has come out. And the interesting thing is they're not just telling the story, they're getting the person that sees the story engage in the story. And for example, they can turn their carbon removal solution to pieces that you as a listener can start to mingle with the different strategies and find, oh, for a certain amount of carbon, how faster can you take it out? Something like that. So in the discussion with the kids, the question was, do you see in general the type of marketing that's happening go from this one side of the street that you tell people this is the story to stories that are more like games and get people involved in the story itself? Is that, that makes sense?
Absolutely. And we're even thinking about that in the context of Enphase, right? We're in the process of looking at ways to create more participation and collaboration and community through the app experience by having and enabling people to share their energy production, to share their decarbonization effort, right? How much carbon are they taking out of the atmosphere, right? So it not only helps in the context of really helping to teach and learn, it helps to really drive engagement. So absolutely, that's how you get participation. So congratulations to the team for seeing that from the get-go.
Fantastic. So you kids are leading the way for something that industry is actually they are driving to. So it's really impressive what you're thinking about. Mm-hmm. And fantastic. Thank you. Stephanie, who's the next company?
Next, we have the World Poly Innovators.
Are you ready to go?
Anabaji, are you ready to present, or would you like to go after the next team?
Okay, so let's go to the next. Let's go to the next team, and then we come back to Anabaji.
Next, we have the super capable team.
Hello, we are STT, and sorry, I'm having some technical issues. Can I go after the next team? Something's wrong with my computer. Give me a second.
Okay. So is Anabaji, are you back?
I think I fixed, I'm not Anabaji.
Go ahead.
I fixed my technical issues. Should I do it now?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Sorry about that. Okay. Okay, so hi, we're SCT. I'm the CEO of SCT, and my name's Ava. I'm from the US and in 7th grade. We have members from the US, Azerbaijan, and Rwanda. And here is our carbon removal idea. So here's how we'll get carbon out of the air. We can use a PCP made out of zinc ions to attract carbon. And there's a research paper here of where we found this, just as a citation. And out of this zinc, we will make a product called polyethylene. And what is polyethylene? Polyethylene is a polymer composed of organic units joined by carbamate links. And here's how polyethylene is made. So the components of polyethylene are triisocyanates, polyols, and additives. And instead of a oil-based polyol, we will use a carbon-based polyol to get rid of all that carbon. And here is a description of how it's made. And we also have a machine in PolyUp that's just a replica of this. And here we can show it right now. So, sorry, can you see it? I keep on having technical issues. Can you see this?
I can see it fine.
Okay, thank you. So here's a diagram of what it looks like. And as you can see, the first thing in the of the chain is a stainless steel tank. Then the next thing is a heat exchanger. And then it is the materials are taken to a dispensing head where polyethylene is turned into paper. And then that we can use that to be sold to many different large companies. And that is how we will make money to continue this. So we also need energy for this polyethylene, and we already know that making polyethylene is a super energy efficient process because we've searched it up, and we've also learned that one of these things that we searched up says that high quality polyethylene insulation products reduce energy loss. And in a 1-year study by Franklin Associates, plastic building and construction materials saved 467.2 trillion BTUs of energy over alternative construction materials. And for the reduced energy we do need, we will use solar panels to power the machines making polyethylene. And of course, as I said before, here's how we will support a business model. So polyethylene is an item used in clothing, packaging, domestic appliances, and more. So we can sell it to larger companies such as Amazon, companies that create paper, cardboard, and need raw materials, just generally companies that will definitely need raw materials. And that is pretty much it for our company. Thank you.
Ava, this is terrific. It's super interesting to me that all of you are really working on big, hard problems and thinking through. These aren't easy problems to solve, right? But they are really important to building kind of the world that we all want to live in, need to live in, right? So I really appreciate that this team and the teams that we've heard so far are really working on hard problems. So I want to congratulate everyone on that. This is interesting, obviously. I don't know if you've had a chance to read Bill Gates' book, but if not, he's really looking at breakthrough energy ventures where we are taking carbon out of the atmosphere. So, I think it's super interesting in the context of where venture money is going right now. So continue to work on this, and by the time you're done with school, you'll have Bill Gates lined up to fund your venture. So hang in there.
Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you. Next, do we have Anabaji connected? I think she had issues with the internet. Are you back, Anabaji? Because timing was this would be the last one. If you are here, we go. Oh, it's impossible to open voice. Okay, so
Okay.
I understand. So let's do this. Alison, do you want to give kind of a 5-10 minutes of your overview on what are your inputs are to the kids? Appreciate that. Then we go to some QA, general QA. With them.
Sure. I mean, I think the point that I was making in the last review, solving hard problems, really looking at what is the world, what do we need to build, and not taking the easy path. Really, I think I loved the fact that you were taking on major, heavy manufacturing kinds of issues. I love also that you're really thinking about how do we bring technology and help people learn who don't have access to technology. So I love the heart and humanity that I saw today. One, that's super promising from the perspective of, we've got a generation of youth who are coming into the world thinking about these problems from the very beginning. That's encouraging for those of us who want to make sure that there is a planet that it is inhabitable for you guys. But I was really impressed with the thinking. I was impressed with the end-to-end thinking. I love that you're thinking through business model. For me, just really exciting and one of those joyful moments where you realize that, it is the youth that are going to save us. So thank you for that.
Fantastic. Really appreciate it. That's very helpful. There is, Alison, one important thing is the work, the support that Enphase has provided has been critical, as I mentioned. Now you see now it's more tangible because you see how they use it in actually building a simulation. So first of all, we really appreciate that. And I want to share with you something which was very important and we learned to work with your team. Before this, like, for example, we worked with Stanford and we made a library for Stanford. They wanted for math. We were talking to a few companies and yours kind of led the way. And what we learned is we were thinking about, okay, we come and tell, okay, what library you want? You want solar, for example, and our engineers sit down and do that. Two things has changed from that, which is very drastic. One is right now kids are doing those libraries. So there are actually many of the libraries right now in the pipeline. One of them got released just recently, 2 more are in the pipeline, that now the kids themselves are building these parts, which is not only 3D, they actually have the logic and the whole simulation part of it. That's one amazing thing they're doing. The other thing we learn is a couple of engineers from your side have been assigned. Thanks to Mehran, this is on the call. Yeah. They were instrumental. We didn't know, we thought, okay, we know the physics. I mean, this is something we know. But when it got to the point to get to the heart of how the logic of a solar system works, to the level that you captured all the essence, but doesn't have the too much detail, which is unnecessary. Actually, your team were critical in that collaboration we had with them. The result was the system that you saw, that the graphs are like almost identical with the graphs that you show to the customer. But even a second grader can put a system together and see that. Yeah. So that was very illuminating for us, that now when we go forward, we are doing that, meaning that whichever company or organization we talk to is not just supporting building it, you actually support by the knowledge you bring in.
That's exactly right. That's right. Experience.
The experience, that's very important. And we're looking for actually expanding that in what we're doing with Enphase. So any ideas, any things that you see that the kids can do with the library there, and expanding on it. If you suggest, I mean, the kids are going to jump on it and we can expand and kind of have a bigger role on this.
Well, I think one of the things that we are aiming to do, only in the United States and in other parts of the world, but certainly in the United States, only 3% of the market has moved to solar. So there is a giant education process that we as Enphase have to do to help mainstream this technology. One of the things that we've been talking about, what I love about engineers and what I love about marketers and creatives is that we're all thinking about designing, right? We're using design thinking to think about how to solve really hard problems and how to communicate those effectively into the world. So any tools that we can use to help both engineers, but also people learn how to use these systems, learn the value of these systems. As learners, it is experiential learning that really helps imprint, right? And helps us really problem solve. So to the extent that the tools that the teams are building, the libraries that the teams are building can be used to help teach people how these systems work and the value these systems can provide, I think we can accelerate the mainstreaming of what is, incredibly important technology to the world. Now, Mehran and team just happened to make the best, and one of the reasons I joined Enphase, they just happened to make the best technology in the world for solving a really hard problem. And I like to think about it in the context of magic and where technology and nature intersect. They're taking photons from the sun, transforming those into energy by way of our technology into energy that you can use to power your home or your business or your community. That's magic. And so, what I saw today is us, this team's thinking also about, that intersection between nature and technology and how to combine those in ways that produce really great outcomes. So tools that help us really understand those principles, I think are incredibly important and valuable.
Fantastic. Thank you. I appreciate that. And how about we throw this at the kids themselves to come up with ideas that how the solar part of the work they're doing, what are the pieces they cannot show right now, or it's harder to simulate, and they come back and say the ideas, and whatever they come will share with your team and get better kind of a collaboration to take this to the next level, such that
Sure.
We can make more of the solar covered and make it easier for others to use, because they are the ones that they can take it to the parents and show. Actually, is the learning process getting reversed? Kids are teaching
That's
us
right.
rather than we do
That's
that.
right.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you. I appreciate that. Aliazi, can you go ahead, please, with your question?
Yes. What is the best way to market our products? I know there's no specific way, but how can we make our products more successful and popular?
Well, it starts with having a product that people love. And when you get it into, it's true, word of mouth. Having kids and your customers talking about it is one of the best ways to market your product. And certainly in the early stages of product where you're really trying to get to product market fit, right? That's sort of the holy grail before you invest and scale up in startup land. You want to get to product market fit. You want to get it into the hands of users and get their feedback and get them talking about it. That in the context of the product that you're building, I think that's probably the best way. One, it's low cost, which is important when you're in a startup. You've got to find very scrappy, low cost ways to build market, right? And by getting it into the hands of users, getting them talking about it with their peers and in different kinds of digital forums, that will be super helpful to spreading the word. So I would, if I were you early on, I would rely on getting into people's hands as broadly as possible and getting them to talk about their experience.
Fantastic.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Aliazi. And in that direction, actually, in what Alison is saying, the simulation models that you're building is a low-cost way to get people know your product, give you feedback, and that actually is one way. And we know, Alison, there has been some very interesting movement in past week or so from kids in different countries, like in Azerbaijan. They started a couple of these startups. They're looking for how to build the movement around the kids in that country to come and join their startups, go through the learning, creativity, and innovation. And you may not know, as you kids, you may not know, but you have a very big power at your hand. And those of you that relinquish this is going to see amazing results. I mean, does that make sense?
It certainly does. Incredibly powerful voices, and all of the influence is coming to you. You are going to be the consumers of the future, the business people of the future. And so your voice matters, and never feel inhibited. Never feel like your voice isn't important. It is critically important. And in the climate movement, we definitely have, Greta is also, obviously a great example of that. She has probably had more impact on the climate movement across generations, not just the youth generation, but all generations. So she's certainly somebody you guys can look up to and take cues from.
Fantastic. That was a very good example. Thanks for bringing it up. Next, Jogan, we'll go ahead with the questions.
I had a question. Can we consider you as an advisor to all the companies? We promise not to send too many messages. We'll send the messages as a collective questions every couple of months.
I would consider it a privilege. So please count me as an advisor.
Thanks.
Okay. Fantastic. Thank you. Alison, is it okay we give, since Mehran has done an amazing help to all these kids, is it okay, Mehran, give a couple of minutes your view?
Absolutely. He's there's a terrific role model for you, for all of you as well. So yes, let's give Mehran a chance to say hello.
Mehran, go ahead, please.
I wasn't preparing for this, but thank you. Thanks for the opportunity, guys. I did genuinely enjoyed your presentations, all of you guys. Amir has been telling me for a while that when I come to one of these sessions, I'll be completely blown away. And Amir, you were right. This was, I still have goosebumps on my hands. You guys have done an amazing job with the simulation tool, your thinking, your goal to fix and address big problem, like Alison said. This is amazing, and I'm really happy and grateful for being part of this to the extent we were able to help. So thanks, guys, for including, and very good job.
Fantastic, Mehran. Thanks a lot. Thanks for you and your team for the amazing job that you have done. And frankly, we didn't, we didn't think that one can make these concepts with all the details of it yet so simple for the kids to do. So really, that's kudos to you and your team to make this possible. Really appreciate that. Great. So thanks a lot. We are at the hour. Really appreciate it. Again, Alison, thanks a lot. This was amazing. Mehran, thank you. And we promise you that the kids will not let you alone. They're going to come back with their ideas and questions. And really appreciate it. Thanks a lot and have a great day.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Enjoy your day.
Enjoy.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. And for the kids, you can remain here for a second. That's fine.